Good morning guys, how are you all doing? My name is Blakemore, I teach, travel and sometimes thrive, and this is a teach video. In this teach video, what I wanted to do is show you guys around my imperfect classroom. When you look online at the moment on things like Instagram and other social media platforms, you will find classroom goals as a hashtag. What a lot of people don't realise is those classroom goals take a long time to set up, and in the realistic world, those classrooms don't always look like that. I believe it can put a lot of pressures on other teachers to make them feel like their classroom needs to look like that all the time too. Realistically, my classroom doesn't always look perfect. And what I wanted to do is show you my classroom at the moment, but rather than show you all the great bits and pieces within my classroom, I wanted to show you the parts that perhaps aren't so perfect to make my imperfect classroom. So let's get started. To start off with, you'll see this is my classroom, and generally it's a little bit cluttered. You might not be able to see it now, but as I go around the classroom, you'll see the little bits and pieces that I think are things that I need to clear up, tidy, sort out, little niggles of mine. So underneath my whiteboard here, you'll see all the mini whiteboards that the children write on. Now, you'll notice there's bits of paper from the past that could have gone in the bin, and these aren't really neatly piled up, so hey ho. If you're new to my channel, then feel free to subscribe, but what you won't know is that I teach in Dubai. Now, these are all the different sheikhs and the different rulers of different emirates. One of the banes of my life is that this window gets really, really hot from the sun. Sometimes temperatures reach 40 degrees outside, so you'll notice all these little smear marks of blue tack, and that's from, you see this little sign that's come down? It gets so hot the blue tack sort of becomes less sticky or melts and things fall down. So I find myself continuously sticking things up, but I want that window to be attractive for the children, so I still stick things up. At the beginning of the year, I stuck these year 3-4 statutory spellings onto the desks with this sticky back plastic stuff, and it's been great. The children have used it to some degree, perhaps maybe not as much as they should do, but you'll notice now that this is starting to become unstuck. So in previous videos, I've spoken about these displays. These displays are great for flexibility and creating a bit of a nice working area. Now, one thing I will say is that I don't always keep these updated as regularly as I should. This is up to date at the moment, but I don't know whether I'll maintain them continuously. Sometimes I forget to do them, and that's just something that happens. But I need you guys to know that that is normal. Down here in this area, you'll see bits and pieces from a measurement lesson the other day. Now, I know that I need to put those away, and I do have children monitoring my classroom. That is something that the children are great at. They monitor the classroom and put things away. However, because of rushed activities and a rushed end of the day, that didn't happen, so I'll need to do that in the future. But again, messes do happen. This is my book area. It's a little bit messier than what I want it to be. I would say I'd like this to be less cluttered, books upside down, but in fairness, at least the books are put away. Again, you'll see little bits of clutter on the sides. This is meant to be a bordering for a UAE display that I've just not used yet. But because I believe I'm going to be creating the display quite soon, I've kept that on the side, but it does look a bit cluttered. This was from a science light display that I previously made too. So again, these all have purposes, but perhaps they shouldn't be on the side. Now this, I'm quite happy with. This actually looks quite tidy. You'll see all of these are Tollsby bits and pieces that then go into these little Tollsby frames there. Now, sometimes, as you can imagine, these go everywhere, so they don't always look this organised, but I'm quite pleased with how organised that looks. I think the children have done a fantastic job of tidying this after an English lesson. Perhaps one of the banes of my life is things like this, where they're not put on straight. However, because children brush past it, it does happen regularly, but it happens. So that marks the end of my not so perfect classroom tour. Now, I'm hoping that some of you out there can relate to the message that I'm trying to share, that it's okay for classrooms not to be perfect 100% of the time. Now, after looking around, I've realised that it's not as bad as I initially thought. However, I know there are still bits and pieces to do. But as a teacher, there are always bits and pieces to do. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think this classroom is an absolute tip in comparison to maybe yours, or just generally? And yeah, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it though. I really, really appreciate it when you guys do that. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe down in the corner and maybe check out my other classroom tour video up there. Hopefully guys, I will see you in the future, but for now, I'm out.